Let me know in the comments what you feel about deep regrets. What if your next fishing trip hauled up eldritch horrors and ruined your sanity? An unsettling comedic fish or spiral into madness dice-driven expedition with a rich art and quirky flavor. This is Deep Regrets. Deep Regrets is a light to medium weight 90 to 120 minute eldritch fishing game for 1 to 5 players by Tettix Games that uses dice allocation, market manipulation, and push your luck mechanics. Deep Regrets feels like a slow descent into absurdity, equal parts eerie, ridiculous, and tense as you chase the perfect catch while managing the creepy cost of your own regret. How's it going, party people? Today we're going to be talking about Deep Regrets, the new card game by Tettix Games. My name's Caravan Dan. I run Gaming Caravan, and this is the plan. Now, if you watch my solo playthrough of Deep Regrets, I talk about all of how to play the game, but let's go into the generic gist of Deep Regrets. You're going to have a board in front of you for setup. You're going to have 3 different depths with depth cards to be printed on the back side to show you if it's depth 1, depth 2, or depth 3. Separate that into 3 different stacks for 13 cards each for the top, middle, and bottom row. It should be equally spaced between all of them. Everyone grab your boats that's in the game. Everyone grab your player board that's in the game, your life raft, and your cube, and go ahead and put all your boats on the first depth of the game. Put all of your life rafts at 0. Put your player board on either the fishy side or the human side, and go ahead and put your cubes eye side up on the top section of the madness tracker. In Deep Regrets, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to have the most money or points possible by the end of the week, whether you're ending it on Friday or Saturday. And yes, the short game is Friday, the long game Saturday. I strongly suggest playing the short game. I forgot to mention this. Make sure you take out your player colored dice. There are 3 dice for each player. You can tell what the player colors are by the bottom of the dice lures. Also, your value will be printed 1, 1, 2, 3 on this die. These will be your, it's hard to say, these will be your action effectively. Once you run out of dice, you can't take any more actions for the most part. Alright, so I'm going to explain to you how to play this game. I played it before, but I'm going to have the rulebook just so I don't mess up anything. So to play the game, what you're going to do is do the start phase, which is phase 1. The phase 1 is Red Sky Morning. You're going to move up the tracker up by 1. If there's a symbol on the bottom, you're going to do whatever symbol's on the bottom, which typically help players progress their stats in the game. Then you're going to reel in, which means that if you are deeper in the depth, you're going to move back 1 depth because the tide's pushing you back slowly. So if you're here, you're going to be going to 2. If you're in 2, you're going to 1. If you're 1, you're just going to stay at 1. After that, you're going to do phase 2, which is muster your courage. Everyone takes all your dice and rolls it. Once you do that, you're going to keep it in your fresh section and do not spend these. Whenever you roll that, you're going to roll all your dice in your spent pool and as many dice as you want in your fresh pool. After you do that, whoever has the highest value will take the life preserver and give it to a different player. The life preserver will allow a player to get 2 off anywhere in the stores at port, or you get 2 off a difficulty of trying to catch a fish. So this is actually pretty valuable. Typically, we give it to whoever rolls lowest or whoever's in last place. Then, starting with the first player, which is symbolized by this anchor right here, you're going to decide where you're going to spend your day. You can spend your day either at the port or at the briny deep, which you catch your fish. You symbolize that by taking your ship and putting it wherever you want. If you want to stay in the briny deep and you're already there, you don't move your ship. But if you want to go to port, you're going to pick up your ship and go to port, just like you're going to port. That simple. We're going to equip whatever reels and rods you have. As you can see in the shop right here, we have different kinds of items. We have reels, rods, and supply. If you have multiple reels and rods, you're going to put the top one, whichever one you want to use, and put it on top. You might have multiple, but you don't necessarily need multiple. If you have none, you just do nothing. And then you're going to do the action phase, which is where the primary part of the game is. The action phase allows you to do your turns to either buy at the shops or catch fish. Now let me show you what it looks like to catch fish. Every action you do is controlled by the dice you have in front of you. So the way you play the game is you're going to choose to do an action and use dice to do that action. If I choose to try to catch a fish, I'll try to select the topmost fish of any stack. If it's revealed, it stays revealed. If it's not revealed, I have to reveal it. So example, let's say I flip this one over right here. The value of the fish is on the top left. The difficulty of the fish is on the top right. The abilities of the fish are in the middle and at the bottom. And you can see based on the border, if it's fresh or like Cthulhuian, which is a kind of weird alien type fish. You can also tell based on the anchor symbol on the top left. Whenever you catch that kind of fish, you have to pick up a regret. Regret cards are these right here, which basically control how mad you are and how insane you get, which we'll get to in a second. So if you want to catch that, you always have to spend 1 die on a fish, unless the value's difficulty 0, then you get it for free. So if I had picked up this, I will select it. Now, there's different effects in the bottom, which are on the hook, when eaten, when caught, when revealed, whatever. This one right here says, when revealed, all players gain a regret, which is one of these bad boys. The more cards you have, the more mad you become. It's not the value of the cards, it's just how many cards there are. The value of the cards is kind of another push your luck mechanism in the game, because whoever has the most mad total at the end, on the front facing side of your cards, will have to get rid of their most valuable prized fish, which is very important, can get you a lot of points. That could be like negative 24 points in some regard. Let's go ahead and say I gain this card right here. I'm going to go up on the madness tracker, because the madness tracker says, depending on how many cards you have, that's how mad you are. So now that I gained a madness card, I am now mad in the first level of madness, which is 1 to 3 cards. Now fair fish, meaning not Cthulhu fish, are worth +1 for me when scoring or selling, and foul fish is now worth -1 for me instead of -2. So the more mad you are, the more valuable foul fish are, and then the less mad you are, the more valuable fair fish are. Those are the two only types of fish in the game. When you collect fish, you go ahead and just keep them on your section right here, face up. And that didn't cost me a die, so I can do it again. Let's say I do it again. Boom. Flip that over. It's 2 points, and it has a level of 1 difficulty, so I can spend any dice that equal to or greater than the number 1. So if I spend 1, I'll put that in my spent section to collect that fish. And that's kind of the generic rounds for the action. But also, whenever you can't do an action, you will pass. So if I spend all my dice, I'm going to pass. After you pass, every time it comes back to your turn and you've already passed, you're going to collect a dink. And these just give you slight little abilities to make it better for you. They could be discarding cards. They could be discarding regrets. They could be plus and minuses to the shop or the catching fish. So it's all just beneficial things that will help you progress through the game. So honestly, it's not a bad strategy. And I'll say this much, the total amount of actions you take don't depend on other players. It's pretty much independent in that case, other than the shared board you're all using to fish. And the deeper you go, the more chance there is for mad fish to exist and try to be caught by you. I'm pretty sure it's like 25% mad fish, 50% mad fish, and then 75% mad fish. So it just gets significantly more mad as you go deeper in the game. If you go to the shop, it's the same context. You have to, when you shop at a store, you're going to shop at that one store and pay whatever you choose to do. There's 3 tiers for each shop. It's either spend 1 coin for one thing, 2 or 3 coins for more things, or 5 coins for even extra things. Basically, if you pay the 1 coin, you just get the 1. So I'll just get the top card, whatever it might be. This would be this kind of rod, the Rod of the Deep. If I spend 3 coins, I will look at the top 3 cards and choose 1. So it gives you a lot more of an option, a lot more ownership. And if you spend 5 coins, you can look at the top 5 cards and choose 2 of those cards. So if you really want to mitigate your luck, you have to save up a lot of money for that. Same thing happens for the reel. Same thing happens for the supply, except you get more cards from the supply because these are all one-shot cards. The dice pool, you're going to draw from this bag. There's 3 different types of dice in here. You have the blue dice, green dice, and orange dice. That just gets more and more valuable. However, these dice are one-shot uses as opposed to your personal dices. Another cool thing about the Madness Track, I didn't say, it allows you to hold more and more dice in your pool to start your turn. Because if you only have like a little bit of madness, like if you start the game, you can only have a max of 4 dice in your pool. But the more mad you get, you can have a max of 8 dice in your pool, which is pretty cool. Now, keep in mind, you can only go to each shop once in a turn. So you can only shop at the rod shop once, reel shop once, supply shop once, and dice shop once. Now, you're able to sell cards here as well. If I sell cards, you will look at the value at the top left and then change the value based on wherever you're at in the Madness Tracker. So here, this foot right here is actually -1 instead of 0 because I'm at -1 for foul value. So I can't even sell that or I'll owe them money. This fish right here is worth 2. It's a fair fish, so I get +1. So it means I actually sell it for 3 coins if I want to right now. Once in the game, you're able to utilize this card right here, which is a lifeboat, to do what I just did and basically go from the deep to the port in 1 turn. You flip that over, boom, monstrous regret. Now, the reason why is because you're going to use your lifeboat, and now you have a total of +10 to your regret score at the end of the game, which could really hurt you depending on where you're at in the game. You also can use Can of Worms when you're in the deep. Can of Worms will allow you to peek at a fish and put it back at the top or the bottom, which kind of allows you to control what you're going to look at. and what you might pull. Every time you make port, though, you're going to refresh this card. So it's also good to use if you know you're going to go to port the next turn. The reason you have this coin right here, this nice metal coin, is because of the fact that a lot of cards are 50-50, where you flip it and says, if it's on heads, do this ability, if it's on tails, do the other ability. So this game is kind of just luck upon luck upon luck, to be fully honest. Once every single person is done with all their actions, you're going to move on to the next day and just reset everything that as we just did. The game will end either Friday or Saturday, depending on how many turns you're taking. If you play to Friday, you're playing the short game. If you play to Saturday, you play the long game. And even though it's 1 day difference, it's a significantly different time-wise. Now, if we go into the facts section of this game, one of my favorite parts of the review, that's where we talk about all the facts that cannot be denied about this game. We did the how to play, and now we're going to talk about similar games. This game is almost 100% obviously influenced by the video game Dredge. Dredge, if you don't know, is a video game where you're a fisherman that's going to catch fish, and there's actually multiple different endings to that game depending on what you catch and how you do and what you restore in that game. It's also a fishing game where you catch normal fish, also you can catch some cthulhu fish, and I think the overall ending is, I don't want to spoil for anyone, so I won't say it, but the game gets kind of insane, 100%, very Cthulhu-like, which this game takes a lot of similarities from, at least in the art, not in the art style, but specifically in the type of theme is here right here now, because it's a Cthulhu-like fishing game, which is pretty niche. Additionally, I would say that this is a push your luck dice rolling fishing game, which makes it very similar to Lure by All Play. Lure by All Play, though, is more quick, fun, light, where you're not taking the game too seriously, with a localized point spread that will be diversified through the players by the end of the game. That game doesn't take longer than 30 minutes. This game will take, like, at the very least 90 minutes if you're playing with just a couple people. Now, what's commonly talked about this game is the fact that it feels like a big game in just a small box at not that big of a price point. I believe it's like 45 to 50 bucks, which isn't awful. And the components are some of the main selling points of this game. So the selling points of this game is the theme, the beautiful artwork, which I believe the designer is the artist, if I know anything about anything. Additionally, the solo mode of this game is one of my favorite solo modes I've played in a game. It's kind of just like you're doing Animal Crossing, collecting the animals, collecting the fish, and logging them, and the game ends whenever you log everything, and you just keep on playing turns and turns and turns, which I think is pretty cool and fun. I actually very much like this game and also you can play multiplayer with 2 to 5 players, I believe. And if you don't know, there's a flavor text on almost every single card, which really leans into like the dark humor type stuff. Every regret you have can be super dark or super easy. So this nagging regret, which is light, it just took a redhead to see, you know. And the next one is read the king in yellow. And then the next one is, let's look at a bad one. A deep regret, which is a 3 value, is never apologized. So you can kind of craft a story with all your regrets as well. And you do so just by talking about it without saying the value. I like it because it's kind of thematic in that sense. Now that we're done with all the facts, we're going to the my opinion section, where I talk about all my thoughts of this game and my experience. So let's go ahead and talk about how it felt like. This game felt like a lucky simulator. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of luck in this game. You're rolling dice to get values. You're flipping things over to maybe get something good that you're able to catch. And then there's some coin flipping in here. So like, oh, there's a good effect and bad effect on the card. I want to get the effect I want. So it's literally luck on luck on luck. This is lucky. That's lucky. Dice rolling's lucky. What'd you pull from the bag for extra dice is lucky. It is Luck the Simulator, which is hilarious. Like it stacks. I don't know how people say that this is like you can strategize. You can do your best to strategize, but like it's luck on luck on luck. Like, and the thing is, the main reason that's super lucky is actually not too much to do with these cards, more to do with these cards, the cards you can buy. The rods, the reels, and the supplies are not, as they say, made equal. They're not balanced. They're completely unbalanced. They're completely like one card is significantly better than the other card without a question. So if I spend 5 coins to look at 5 cards and grab 2, because I think that's the best case scenario, I might get a decent card from that. However, someone could just spend 1 coin, take the top card, and get a way better card. It's kind of just like up to luck, up to chance. I don't like that personally whatsoever. I think it's way too difficult because you only got to shop a maximum of twice in the game. So when you go, you really need to make use of the cards that you get from here. And I had it where I literally spent 5 coins at each thing, and someone spent 1 and just got a significantly better card than me that let them look at the top 2 cards of whenever they fished and chose whether they got to grab, which mitigated all the negative effects that they would have had. And I did not even have the chance to grab that, which I would have grabbed 100. So these cards skewed the game so much for whatever cards that you grabbed and whatever cards people around you grabbed, which I personally didn't enjoy. Now, what I liked about the game is the art and the theme, and it was a fun time to, go out, catch some fish, grab a couple, maybe go to, like, it was a nice flow to the game where you got to catch some fish, sell some fish, get some stuff to help you catch more fish. I like the flow to that overall. I do like the dice rolling. I think it's cool. I do think it's definitely lucky, because someone could roll 3 3s, someone could go 3 1s, and then that's a significantly different round they're going to have. But if you want to make a fishing game, I hear everyone says, like, you have to make a push your luck for a fishing game. I'm from Kansas. Fishing's not that much luck. Like, it's about positioning and what your strategies are. I know people that can consistently catch super valuable fish IRL, regardless of what equipment they have. So I don't think fishing's really a luck game, and I don't like the connotations where the fishing games have to be lucky, but it is what it is in those regards. Even though Animal Crossing fishing isn't lucky, you can tell what fish they might be based on their swimming patterns and size of the shadow. So I'm just saying, like, and here for the record, they do have that. I didn't mention that earlier, but the back of the cards, and if it's a small fish, which the values of those are here, small fish could be caught, depending on the depth, easier than medium fish, which medium fish have a bigger shadow, and then large fish have the biggest shadow that overtakes the whole card. So you can tell kind of what you're going for, depending on the size of the shadow, and that was, I think, the coolest feature of the game, because in a game that's this lucky, you really do need ways to mitigate your luck. But still, like, it wasn't enough, because the problem with the luck was not here, because they had that. The problem with the luck was right here. I think there needs to be a face-up card, and then there needs to be, like, if you're going to spend 5 coins, I would just say, like, look at the whole stack and grab one card. I don't know. I really think that getting rid of some of those cards would make the game better, because some of those cards are skewed way too much for, like, the abilities. Overall, I really did like, I liked these dinks, because I had a million dinks that helped me so much more than anyone else. Because I passed pretty early in my round, so I got a ton of these, which really allowed me to do more on my next turns. I think that's a nice balancing act that I've never seen. Getting passive income for every time someone, like, passes you in the round, that was pretty nice. Which encourages you to pass early if you need to. I liked this right here. I really like having this madness tracker and, like, making cards better or worse for you depending on where you are in the madness tracker. I liked the regrets. I thought this was a cool way to, I wish that they were used more in the game, because you really just grab them or get rid of them for the sole purpose of whoever has the most regret will lose their prize catch. I wish it had more value. So a lot of people thought there would be negative points, and I think I might like it if there were negative points instead. Except maybe, like, whoever has the most of them isn't negative. I don't really know. But I would like them to be used a little bit more than just for that one scoring feature in the game. What I didn't like, I think I verbalized very much what I didn't like about this game. I don't like just how much luck was involved with this game. They offset a lot of the luck with the shadows, with giving you this card that allows you to know just how much you're going to need, depending on the size shadow, in the specific depth. But with here, this, again, was too swingy. So I very much didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that, like, someone could roll 3s, someone could roll 1s, and all you might get is this, based on the kindness of the player that rolled the highest. But it is what it is. I don't really think there's too much to do about that. If you use dice game, that's just the nature of the dice game. I think Lure did something interesting, where depending on the amount of dice you spent, you went first, but you can't really do that in a game like this, because you have to go based on turn order. So I think this is the best game it could be, to be fully honest. So I dislike just how much luck is in here, but this was a good amount of enjoyability, to be fully honest and fair. Would I ever play this game? I would maybe play this game again 2 players. I would never play this game again with 3. With 3 players, the game took almost 2 hours with Teach. Teach wasn't long. It's just the game, once you go from Friday to Saturday, you get so much stuff on Friday, knowing Saturday's coming in the final round, that goodness gracious, it was insane. It made the game so much longer. Saturday took like it took like a quarter of that time. Saturday alone. And I heard people say, like, I don't know if adding one more day would change the time that much. And games that scale like this, the final day really depends on, like, if it's a final day at 5 rounds or final day at 6 rounds, changes significantly with all the cards you can buy and all the things you can access and all the dice you can have. Considering each die is your action, since you can buy more dice, and since there's an extra round to buy even extra dice, it's going to give you a lot more time to do stuff. So just know that 100%. Yeah, I don't think I'd replay this game. Definitely with 3 or 4 people. Definitely not 5 players. I don't know why it's a 5-player game personally. This game does take a little bit if you want to. I don't know, man. I don't even know why it took us so long, to be fully honest, because it's not hard to do your actions. You choose something, you flip it over, you resolve it, you move on. So I think once you get into a flow state, it's pretty good. But like with 3 players, we're talking and laughing because this game is funny. Like if I'm interacting with the game, it takes longer, and there's a lot to interact with this game. So that's just part of the nature of the game. Now, would I buy this game? Obviously, I bought this game for my community because it's a popular game and people were requesting it, so I got it for the community. But would I personally buy this game for my personal collection? The answer is no. I bought it. I could have possibly bought it based on hearing that it's based on like a video game IP, because as you guys know, I'm a huge IP fanatic. The art's beautiful. I like the theme. I like the concept. I really like lore, which this reminds me a lot of. So like, I, without playing the game, would buy this game. With a demo of the game, I might even buy the game. But after playing like a full-fledged game of this, I would not buy the game for my collection at all. This is just too much luck. And I love Munchkin, if you guys don't know. Munchkin's one of my favorite games, which have a lot of luck, but at least you can position yourself better. You know what's coming up in a lot of ways. You're working around the players next to you. Munchkin's not the most amount of luck, but like it still is a good amount of luck. But I feel like this still, based on those items right there, really swing the game. If you didn't even use items like that and use something else entirely, I think the game would be better. I think if we could all buy from a personal set of localized cards, that would be way better. Like if I go here to be able to unlock a card that we could all unlock, depending on when we go there and how much money we spend. Kind of like what happens in the solo mode, which is why I think the solo mode is so cool. In the solo mode, depending on how many coins you have, you can unlock specific cards from reels, specific rods, specific supply cards. Being able to get it randomly really just like jacked it up for me, which is why I think the solo mode is so much better than the multiplayer mode. I think if you had something like this where it's localized purchasing, it would significantly increase the replayability of this game. I think it would make it to a place where I should be able to rate it high. Like I think this would be a highly rated game for me if we fixed that one aspect. We'd also need to balance some of the rods and reels 100%. But for the most part, that's my main gripe with the game. So my final ranking for this game, if you don't know, I don't really do numbers. I don't like saying like, oh, it's like a 1 out of 10 or like a 6 out of 5. Like I don't really like the number values because it changes for everyone. But I will say that this game is ranked out of all the games I've played, adding that slowly to a ranking chart. This game is ranked number 84 out of 91 games I've ranked so far. It's ranked right underneath Disney Villains, the card game, and above Letter Tycoon from Breaking Games. I do like this concept of the game so much, but the experience was so long. And I don't agree that you only catch a couple of fish. I caught so much fish. I really don't know who says like I only caught like 8 fish. We all caught relentless amounts of fish. I did have a ton of dice, but you can really just keep on face planting on stuff and just catching fish, especially if you don't go too deep too early. I think if you commit to the 3rd or 2nd depth before round 3, you're gonna be screwed a bit. But just be smart, and you're not gonna have that problem. But that is everything for today. Let me know if you play this game, what you think about this game. I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts on Deep Regret. But yeah, hope to see you in my next video. Comment below what video you want me to do next. Peace, have a great day. God bless, and I hope to see you at the table soon.